Hello there. We are continuing our training session and still we'll be using the Lev Alburt's chess puzzle book. And so let's do 4 another puzzles. Let's start with puzzle number 1. Okay, it's white turns to move in this position, so please pause the video now and try to find the best continuation for white. Okay, so this is another situation in which, if this was a real game, you should have a feeling that there could be some nasty tactics involved. So you have queen, which has access to the king. You have a knight, which can deliver several checks, and you also have rook, which can easily join the party in attacking the king. So you have to think about most forcing moves. And maybe the first thing which comes to mind is just to sacrifice the rook. So rook takes c7 here, but after king takes rook, you can penetrate with your queen. This is true. But then after queen goes either to c8 or d8, it's not very easy how to continue. So yes, you can grab, for example, a knight, but then you just gave up your rook for the knight, and there is no checkmating sequence here, which is obvious. So this is probably not the way to go. So let's try something else. So what other forcing moves do we have in this position? Well, in all the variations, which include this rook sacrifice, the queen eventually delivers check on a7, and so this is the motive, the technique regarding solving of complex tactics is to do the move, the changed move order. So in your head, after the rook sacrifice, here comes the check. Okay, but what about if we would reverse the move order? So what if we would do first deliver check and then take the pawn with the rook? So instead first taking the pawn then delivering check. What about other way around? And if you do this, if you just think about this position to start with different move orders, you will see that this is actually the winning combination. So the solution to this puzzle is queen to a7, sacrificing the queen, king takes queen, and then rook takes c7 check, only one legal move, king a7, and knight to b6 is checkmate. Okay, so this is the solution. So let's just go quickly through the mental process. So first you think about sacrificing the rook, because rook is less valuable than queen, of course. So you think about sacrificing rook and then delivering the checkmate, and then you see that this doesn't work, and then you try a different move order in your head. So first deliver checkmate, first deliver check, and then after king takes, then you can deliver check, and this is a checkmate. Okay, so let's now move to the position number 2. Okay, this is the position. Again, this is a white turn to move. So please pause the video now and try to find the best continuation for white. Okay, I hope you managed to find the solution. This is very familiar pattern in which you have this dark square weakness in your opponent, in your opponent's camp, and then you can exploit these weaknesses, especially this g7 weakness, which if you can get the queen to g7, then it will be the checkmate. So you have to think how to exploit this weakness, and the familiar pattern you need to have the mental picture of is when this pawn is here, this will be, for example, checkmate. So you are looking in the head for this kind of setup, and you can see that it can be easily achieved if you can only make use of your other pieces. So as you look, calculate different move orders, you can see that immediate f6 wins, because king cannot take f6, because if king takes f6, then queen g5 is very strong, king g7, and now you have this pattern I was talking about, but only with a different pawn. king g8, and then queen f6, and this is unstoppable checkmate. Please try to remember this pattern. It can be either the queen and pawn can be interchanged. So this pattern is very important because by this, and it very often occurs. So in this pawn structure, with rook on f8, there is no way to stop this this checkmate. So even if you don't have any other pieces on the board but these two pieces, and even if he has all the pieces in the world, this cannot be stopped. So this is very strong pattern. Okay, so we saw that after f6 he cannot take the pawn because it will just be check, check, checkmate. Okay, so he has to do something else. He has to move the king. So king h8 is played in the game, and now again queen h6 threatening this checkmate. But now again the familiar pattern is the only way for black to stop this checkmate. If he was to go to g8, then this is unstoppable. So this is why he went to h8, and now he can stop by playing rook g8 and guarding this square. And this is also very familiar pattern. But now the attack continues. So h takes g6, now threatening checkmate here on h7. So black again is forced to take the pawn. The only way he can take it is by his f pawn, because if he takes it with the rook, well then white will just take the rook and deliver checkmate. So he has to take with the f pawn, f takes g6. At this point you can try to think about most forcing moves, because it's very clear near to checkmate, and you have many pieces aiming at the king, and then at this moment you can see that the simple queen sacrifice does the job, and this is the checkmate. Okay, so this is the solution to the puzzle. Let's do it just once again to see the main highlights of the position. So this was the position. Okay. So now, even if you don't see the combination all the way through the checkmate, you know it is very strong to have the queen on h6, for example, or on f6, and with your pawn on h6. So you don't even have to calculate till mate here. So you do check, and you can see if he takes that it will be check, check, queen f6, and very soon checkmate. So after f6 he has to move. Then you bring your queen to h6. So like I said, even if you don't calculate any more further, this is good. This is good to have your king and rook constrained in this manner. But now you can go even further. Once you got here, you see that you can just continue your attack, and then now you have this rook, and you can just sack the queen, and this is game over. Okay, let's go to the puzzle number 3 now. Okay, this is the position. Please pause the video and try to find the best continuation for white. Okay, so let's look at some features of this position. The most important feature you have to notice is that black has serious back rank weakness. So if any heavy piece could deliver a check without being opposed or being able to be blocked, like in this position, then it would be a serious problem for black. So you have to think about how to open the line for your rook, so that your rook can also join this pressure of back rank mate. And the solution to this puzzle, and I have to say this puzzle is rather difficult. It's not easy to find the solution. It's bishop to e6, because now you are opening the file, and the back rank mate threat becomes very serious. So first of all, he cannot take the rook because it will just deliver checkmate on e8 here. So this is out of the question. If he takes with the pawn, well, you will just grab the rook, be up in the material, and also you will continue very strong attack on the black king. And if he takes with the bishop, which he did in the game, then just queen c8 check, and now this check has to be blocked. In the game, Levenfish, who was playing against Keres, he played bishop to d8, blocking the check, but then just after queen takes bishop, it's check and the mate next move. So after rook takes, it's a checkmate because of the back rank weakness. Okay, so let's just go quickly once again to see the position. So the main feature is the back rank weakness. You need to figure out how to make pressure on the back rank, and the way to do it is to release this rook to be able to join the pressure. And after you play bishop to e6, this rook cannot move because the checkmate will be on e8 very soon. The pawn cannot take because it will just lose the rook, and if the bishop takes, like it was done in the game, then queen c8 check. Once it can be blocked with the rook or with the bishop, it doesn't matter. You just take the piece on d8 and you deliver check. The only way to get is to capture, and then you have clear back rank checkmate. Okay, let's now go to the position number 4 and the last position in this session. Okay, so this is the position. It's white to play and try to find the best continuation for white after hitting the pause button. Okay, so this is one very famous mating pattern. It's called Boden mate, or two bishops mate, or crisscrossing bishop mate. You'll find different names, but the idea is that you have two bishops which can attack the king like on the crisscross, and then it's a checkmate. So in order to find a solution, you have to see like always, the forcing moves first. So the only forcing move, the only check in this position is queen takes c6 check, and this is the solution to the problem, because now the only legal move is to capture with the pawn, and then bishop to a6 is a checkmate, because this square is covered by the rook, and you have two bishops which are crisscrossing and delivering the checkmate. So this mating pattern, well, doesn't occur very often in your games, but there are some very famous classical games in which this pattern occurred. There is one, I think it was Adolf Andersen who played, and he sacrificed over the a file, he sacrificed both rooks and the queen just to get to this Boden checkmate pattern. So, okay, let's just repeat the pattern. So queen takes pawn, pawn has to capture the queen, and bishop a6 is forced checkmate. Okay, so this is it for today. We've done our 4 puzzles. I hope you are learning something from these videos, and I especially hope that you indeed do hit the pause button after the video, after the position is set, and try to look the solution for yourself and try to be actively engaged in these sessions, because in this way you will surely most benefit from these exercises, and you will learn many different positions, very different patterns, which you will be able to implement in your own games as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon with more chess. Cheers.